Joining me now for reaction is Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House and a Fox News contributor. Newt, it's so good to have you back from Rome. How are you? Are you perpetually jet lagged? That's my question.
No, it's fun.
Let's talk about what they are trying to do. The usual suspects, you know all of them. You saw that tedious montage. Trump's not smart, he's dumb, he's unintelligent, he doesn't read, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's going on here?
Well, I mean, the same people who have been passionately avoiding reality for 3 years are now entering a new year passionately avoiding reality. You know, there's a whole series of these things. I'm working on a book right now called Trump's America, and there's a whole chapter of how wrong they are. I mean, whether it's somebody saying he couldn't possibly be elected, a number of people who said the stock market is going to crash the minute he's sworn in. I mean, you go back and you pick these people up. I have a standard rule. If I look at the Sunday morning shows and all of the wonderful elite Washington figures have agreed that the sky is going to be blue, my assumption immediately is it's not, because they're wrong so often. So let's take the case of the current. And the other thing, by the way, is the news media loves living in the Kardashian age. There is no story too small, no semi-scandal too stupid for them to not spend a day or two just frothing about it. So, and you've had the same experience. Trump is actually, he was smart enough to beat 16 other Republicans. He was smart enough to beat Hillary Clinton. He was smart enough to help Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan pass the largest tax cut in modern times. He's been smart enough to begin to get federal judges in who are solidly conservative. He was smart enough to have the largest deregulation, larger than Reagan, largest deregulation in history in the first year. So somewhere in all that, you'd think maybe he's actually smart.
I mean, do dumb people get elected president of the United States? I mean, truly dumb people. I mean, look, you are the academic. Give me the dumb person who was ever elected president.
Warren G. Harding, Buchanan.
You have to go back a ways.
Yeah.
They're trying to set up a narrative, Newt, of Trump as unstable, mentally deficient, can't be trusted with a nuclear button. You're seeing pieces, not just in places like CNN, that Brian Stetler had a piece today about how the salacious details of that Wolf book aren't important. More important is that the book suggests that Trump is unstable and raises alarms about his fitness for office. You've heard this building really, we heard it from Corker, we've heard it from people all the way back to last January, frankly.
The bombs start falling on Moscow in 10 minutes. That was not Donald Trump. That was Ronald Reagan. During a test.
Was it 5 minutes or 10 minutes? I think it was 5
thought it was 10.
Okay.
But in either event.
Let's do Reagan trivia right now. Let's call Craig Shirley.
But in either event, can you imagine how the current media would have dealt with that?
Oh, my God. That was one of Reagan's best lines as well.
It was a throwaway baloney line, and he knew it, and so did the Russians.
But what did Reagan do that Trump doesn't? Reagan let it all kind of slide off his back. He did not engage with the media. It was a different time. You didn't have Twitter.
They're both. I mean, I think you said it well earlier. Ronald, I actually do think, and I thought I've known 9 presidents. I think these are the 2 best. This will shock some people. I think Reagan and Trump.
Totally, I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
not even close.
In terms of actual effectiveness,
yeah,
these are the 2 best presidents that I've known, starting back with Nixon. But they're totally different. Brian Kilmeade has a new book, as you know, on the Battle of New Orleans and Andrew Jackson. And I keep telling everybody, if you read Kilmeade's book, if you look at Andrew Jackson, you begin to understand Trump. Reagan is this stunningly sophisticated person who had been a Hollywood star. He really understood himself. He really understood the media. And he had a totally different style than Trump. Trump is a rough and tumble businessman who never acquired any of Reagan's, style, but who understands, I want to get that done.
That story about the police officer or the firefighter with the 401k, he gets in with the people. I always love seeing him on the factory floor, putting his arm around someone. That's the Trump I think we need to see more of. I like his tweets. I think his tweets are almost always effective. So I like his tweets. But getting involved, Bannon says this, Trump says this, they're friends, they're not friends. I got to have you weigh in on Bannon and what's going on there. I can't figure it out. I don't know who's helped by it.
Oh, sure you can. Bannon is a person, and we both worked with Steve. He was a very smart, very interesting student of what's going on in America. He read his own headlines, many of which he planted. He wasn't the chief strategist. Donald Trump was already the nominee before Bannon showed up, and Bannon had a marginal impact in the fall campaign. He really, at some levels, he's almost irrational. You go into the Trump White House and you think, I guess I'll pick a fight with Jared and Ivanka, and then I'll pick a fight with Don Jr. This is suicidal. I mean, these are the kind of things where you have to say, you know, are you just crazy? Then,
are you saying Steve Bannon's insane?
Well, the president said, I think, that he had lost his mind, and that may be a more appropriate way to put it, because insane has certain, you know, psychological preconditions. What I do think is that Bannon thought, somebody once said to me, the Tiger Woods caddy actually thought he made the putts, and forgot that, in fact, it was helpful to have Tiger Woods.
As long as he didn't drive the car in the last.
But if you think about it, Bannon thought that he had the skills that Trump has.
Well, he might run for president. I mean, the reports are he could think of running for president.
That'll be fine. He'll get, you know, 3%. And be part of the continuation. I think actually this experience probably eliminates most of his support financially.
John Cornyn, senator from Texas, said the falling out with Bannon may be a good thing for the Republican Party. See, what I'm worried is the ricochet thing. Bannon is a conservative populist. I agree with him on almost every issue, frankly. He is very smart. He is a student of history. I don't know what's behind these quotes. I'm not going to get into that. But I don't want Trump to take the Bannon problem and take the lesson from that being, I'm not going to do these issues that, you know, that we agreed on together, because I think they were good together. I'm not saying Bannon was Trump. Trump's Trump.
Look,
they were good together.
First of all, I think Steve Miller.
I'm trying to be a mend fences here for people. That's what I'm trying to do.
Good luck.
Good luck. Well, what can I do? I'm trying. I don't give you. Go ahead.
First of all, Stephen Miller is the heart of
love him.
Right, and he has all of Bannon's upside and none of his downside.
Quiet.
Right. He's there doing his job every single day. I think he probably channels Trump better than anybody in the country. Second, this is like Reagan. I remember as early as the summer of '82, conservatives going to lunch at Heritage going, oh my God, Reagan's selling us out. I mean,
oh yeah, right.
I have enormous faith that Reagan was actually Reagan. I have enormous faith that Trump is actually Trump. Trump actually believes this stuff. He believes in deregulation. He believes in cutting taxes.
This is what I'm saying. These conservatives still grousing.
So I don't worry about Bannon. I don't worry about Bannon leaving as long as Trump stays.
Sessions, a couple of congressmen, Meadows and Jordan, said that Sessions should probably step aside. It might be time for him to step aside. What do you think about that?
I think that Attorney General Sessions ought to have a very serious review of what he's doing, because he has a department that has enormous problems. He can't recuse himself from all those problems. And he ought to be, if he were still in the Senate, he would be really angry at him as Attorney General. And I mean, I like Jeff a lot.
Me too.
And I hope that he will decide that he is going to clean house and get the job done.
Now, they're opening up a couple new investigations, so we'll see. Newt Gingrich, love having you on. Thank you so much. Give my best to your ambassador. Do you call ambassador or ambassadress? What am I?
No, she's an ambassador.
Ambassador. It's no female.
She prefers you call her Callista.
Okay. Okay. Tell hi. Tell Callista I said hi. Please do. By the way, the suddenly intense feud between Bannon and the president we just talked about took another surprising turn today. We're going to talk to someone who has not spoken out on this issue, and an exclusive. Stay right here. You do not want to miss it.